Scan my audience. Okay. Somebody have time for me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Pearl Harbor was certainly a tragic event in American history. Our country was able to overcome this event, though. How, you might ask? Well, with leaders like Franklin D. Roosevelt, things were a little easier. That's why I've chosen Franklin D. Roosevelt's infamy speech to analyze. Franklin D. Roosevelt said it best when he started his speech, quote, "Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a day which will live in infamy," unquote. He knew that day would not soon be forgotten, and he knew the historical significance behind what he would say in his speech. The historical context pertaining to the times in which this speech was delivered is that America went to war as a result of what Japan did at Pearl Harbor. It was this attack on our nation that led us into World War II, and any time a nation goes to war, it is historically significant. Franklin D. Roosevelt gave this address to let people know what had happened and how America was going to react. He declared war on Japan during this address and knew that the attack on Pearl Harbor would never be forgotten. He served for 12 years and 4 terms until his death in 1945, the only president ever to do so, and a central figure in world events during the mid-20th century, leading the United States during a time of worldwide economic depression and total war. Franklin D. Roosevelt was a dominant leader of the Democratic Party and the only American president elected to more than 2 terms. He built a New Deal coalition that realigned American politics after 1932, as his domestic policies defined American liberalism for the middle third of the 20th century. Roosevelt dominated the American political scene not only during the 12 years of his presidency, but also for decades afterward. He orchestrated the realignment of voters that created the Fifth Party system, and Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal coalition united labor unions, big city machines, white ethnics, African Americans, and rural white Southerners. He also influenced the later creation of the United Nations. Roosevelt is consistently rated by scholars as one of the top 3 United States presidents, along with Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. The presidential address to Congress of December 8, 1941, known as the infamy speech, was delivered at 12:30 p.m. that day to a joint session of Congress by United States President Franklin D. Roosevelt, one day after the Empire of Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor Naval Base in Hawaii. The name derives from the first line of the speech, Roosevelt describing the previous day as a, quote, "day which will live in infamy," unquote. Within an hour of the speech, Congress passed a formal declaration of war against Japan and officially brought the U.S. into World War II. The address is regarded as one of the most famous American political speeches of the 20th century. I determined this speech to be of historical significance because this event changed America and made us enter war with another country. I specifically chose this speech because I have great respect for Franklin D. Roosevelt as a man and a leader. He led our country longer than any other president and had to go through some of the toughest times of America while he was leading. This message bettered society because it informed everyone of America's plan to enter World War II and let the world know that America doesn't tolerate terrorist attacks on its country. Franklin D. Roosevelt was calm and steady as a president, as well as during this speech. That calmness let America's society know that everything would be taken care of and there was nothing to be afraid of. In conclusion, December 7th, 1941 is certainly still, quote, a day which has lived in infamy, unquote, and will be for years to come. Franklin D. Roosevelt did a great job leading our nation, and without him, America may not be the same today. Any questions?
How long was FDR's term?
It was 12 years long, the longest of any president.
When did Congress decide to go to war?
It was actually within the hour of Franklin D. Roosevelt giving the speech, letting the nation know that Japan did attack Pearl Harbor.
When was FDR born?
January 30th, 1888.
What date was the speech given?
It was the day after Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. It was December 8th, 1941.
Who attacked Pearl Harbor?
The Empire of Japan. I think I said that a few times, but anyway. Thank you.